Welcome to the Peace and Chaos program. Get ready for your hosts, DJ Aceman and Big Don.
How's it going, everyone? DJ Aceman right here, right now for the Peace and Chaos season premiere, season 2. Big Don, what's going on?
We're back, people. This is the official start of summer season. As I take a sip of iced tea right there. Welcome back, you guys. We missed you. Missed you guys in the chat. We got a good one for you guys today. We're going to be talking about the issues that were taking place throughout not only this week, but what it feels like for a couple of weeks now. We're going to be talking about the recent Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the tensions regarding that, and the recent ceasefire that occurred with that. We're also going to be talking about UFOs, as you can tell by our thumbnail right there. There's going to be a recent, I think, FBI document or CIA document that's going to be released by the federal government coming June. And we're going to be talking about what our beliefs of aliens are, because I think it's an important question to ask, and people in politics seem to care about it. It's like Senator Marco Rubio.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And just before we start, as always, make sure to go follow us on Twitter, Peace and Chaos P1. That is Peace and Chaos P1 on Twitter, and also on Instagram. We don't have it up right now, but you can go check it out on our banner on our YouTube page. It is just the Instagram icon. And if you're searching on Instagram, it is Peace and Chaos _podcast. That is Peace and Chaos _podcast. And just make sure it's the red logo with the birds on it. So just to let you all know, we are now in the second season. This season is our summer season. It's going to be going on from now until probably end of August. We're looking right now of just doing one live stream every Saturday, our normal time, 8 to about 9:15, 9:30. And then also we're going to be trying to do some great video content as well. Everything from recent polls to things about ongoing relations within politics, anything like that, any stories that are relevant, and also some GeoGuessr as well. So we're going to keep you guys all locked for that. You can always go check us out though on Twitter. We're going to be making a lot of announcements on there, and also make sure to go subscribe and hit that bell so that you can always stay updated whenever we post. Now, we did discuss, we're going to be talking about two main things tonight, the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict and also the UFOs, which have become a really big thing over the past couple weeks now. There have been ongoing videos. There's been a 60 Minutes documentary about this. So it has definitely caught eye of the public. But let's go right now to a story that has definitely been the biggest in terms of the world right now, and that is the ongoing Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Now, as of right now, there has been a ceasefire, which went into effect yesterday, May 21st. But it has definitely opened the eyes of the world. For people who did not really know about the Palestinian Israeli conflict, a lot of people have become familiarized with this. We have not seen tensions quite like this since 2014, when there was a lot of airstrikes by the Israelis and also attacks by the Palestinians as well. There have been ongoing clashes. But this time around, I think that the world has definitely witnessed it, because we have not seen calamity to this magnitude for so long. So it's definitely a serious topic. It's something that we need to discuss. And yeah, I just want to get your initial thoughts, Big Don, and also just what you want to see in the future.
Yeah, so this is probably one of the most complex topics in politics right now, because there's just so much information in terms of who started what, and sort of you're going back to events like chronologically in terms of who you want to decide with. In terms of what recently led up to sort of the escalation we saw here, but of course, Gaza fired first. Hamas, they fired rockets into Israel after retaliation from Israelis evicting Palestinians in East Jerusalem, which eventually led to Israeli troopers opening fire on a mosque during Ramadan. And so that has catapulted this whole entire fiasco. I don't want to say certain words here, but it's a S show that's going on in Israel, and it has been for a while. I mean, if you look at sort of the history between these two territories and the amount of sort of animosity and politics and ultimately territorial disputes between these two nations, if you want to call them two nations, it's really complicated history. And then it's definitely hard to like pinpoint it's on like a certain party here. I will say this: I think Hamas is a really, really bad organization. They're one of the most anti-Semitic organizations in the entire world. But Israel does, in my mind, deserve some blame here because I think it's just another example of sort of the treatment they have with Palestinian people. I mean, they've been treating that much kindly since 1948, really, when they forced a lot of them to move off certain places and pretty much leading to like a certain amount of displacement. Now, there's a whole entire history of that in terms of who we can blame, in terms of what conflict, what the motives of the conflict. But overall, I think it's a really complicated situation, and there's definitely a lot of room for nuance here. But in the end, we're going to go into sort of the resolution that happened in terms of these two countries and sort of where they're at now.
Yes, yes. So as of right now, there has been a ceasefire. There have been tensions ongoing. We have seen it since the month of May. There also have been a lot of forced evictions in Sheikh Jarrah, which is it's a neighborhood in Gaza. And this neighborhood is where a lot of Palestinians have been living since Israel was founded. But a lot of Israeli settlers, Jewish settlers, have moved in. Vice has done a great series on this. They actually went to Sheikh Jarrah not too long ago, and they did a whole series on this, where a lot of Israelis were moving in and forcing people out. And this is something that a lot of people have also followed. So that is going on right now in Israel. The Supreme Court had to delay the cases because they were going to do hearings, I believe, 2 weeks ago now on that Monday. However, when the two sides kind of started having really heated tensions, they decided not to make a ruling because of how controversial it would be in terms of how the two sides were in relations with one another at that time. So we also have to wait on when we hear the hearings for Sheikh Jarrah. This has been ongoing for quite a while. It hasn't started in May. There have been people getting kicked out of their homes, since for decades now. So it is not something new, but it has become very major. Also, the Al-Aqsa Mosque in, which is in Gaza, I believe, that has also been one of the sites. There have been clashes between Israeli police and Palestinians in there as well. And this was right at the end of Ramadan, the holiest month of Islam. During this time, a lot of Palestinians and Israeli police. Well, what happened was that there was the Israeli police raided the mosque. I don't know what exactly the reason why, but they did raid it, and that's what really kind of brought this issue to a forefront. And as of right now, luckily, both sides have agreed to a ceasefire. There have not been any air attacks on either side. So each side has been able to kind of recuperate. For Palestine, they have been really focused on humanitarian aid, getting people who have been injured by the Israeli airstrikes, the health and safety, and also people who have had their homes damaged by it. While on Israel side, it's kind of been a way of trying to kind of come to the diplomatic table. And also for Palestine as well, they have done that. But both sides do fear that this is just the beginning and that it's not going to end, even though right now there are no airstrikes or no missiles in the skies of southern Israel or in Gaza. There are people who are skeptic about this, and they believe that although right now it is not, not violent right now, they believe that there could be. And on Israel's side, they're fearing that Palestine is just waiting to get more missiles and waiting to get more, um, waiting to build up their arsenal for future clashes. And this has been something that a lot of Western nations have had to come and face. I think the United States right now has to support their biggest ally in the Middle East, which is Israel. But you see a lot of the public don't agree with that. And I kind of want to bring it over to that right now, because although the ceasefire has stopped and halted everything going on in terms of the calamity and the destruction, um, I don't know how long it's going to stand, because I think both sides are still very, um, they're both heated with one another still. And I know that right now in the United States, we've seen a lot of demonstrations, especially for the past couple of weeks now, for Palestine. I don't know if Palestine is going to be able to, quote unquote, win, because I know that Israel, but I'm not too sure. I just want to get your thoughts, Big Don. I know that you and I have been following the story pretty closely. I just want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I mean, there's definitely a lot of political pressure, especially for President Joe Biden, in terms of how to resolve this issue in tensions. He did reach out to Netanyahu and some Palestinian leaders in terms of coming up with a ceasefire, and as we could see, it took place. In terms of sort of the view of it right now going forward, obviously there's going to be a lot of tension within Palestine and Gaza. Hamas is generating a lot of support there. Like I was watching some news today, and then I saw they were having a little parade there for the Hamas people because they took it as a sign of them winning. So, in terms of what our foreign policy, the debate going on with that, it's going to be okay. Should we come up with a solution? Like, for example, should we go back to a two-state solution? We did a poll for that. We will be talking about that in a minute. But also, like the extent of how much we should support Israel, because as you said, they are a land. They're a democracy in a land of no democracy. So, but at the same time, it's just like it's the same imperial game that the United States has been playing in the Middle East since the 1940s, going back to the 30s in terms of what the oil interests there for the United States. I'm of the view that I think Israel has the capabilities of defending themselves from Hamas and other countries around the area. But obviously, we need to come up with some sort of solution in terms of, okay, we need to give these two groups of people their fair share of rights, because I mean you can't really free travel in any of these states. That's the problem here. I mean, people are getting kicked out, so they're not. If you're Palestinian, you can't go into any areas of Israel, and that's kind of the same within Gaza.
And I just wanted to add to this has kind of put the United States in such a tough position, because although there have been a lot of people in the public who have been very vocal about the Palestinian cause, there have also been a lot of, generally both political parties to a certain degree have still emphasized on the importance of defending Israel. I mean, Andrew Yang did take a lot of slack for saying it, but I mean, when you look at the Republicans, though, I mean, they have always emphasized Israel. You look at former President Trump; he's been a big pro-Israel president with the Abraham Accords and all the different negotiations he has brought to the table between Israel and Morocco, Qatar, I believe, and other countries in the Middle East. And I think with President Biden right now, he definitely needs to look at the United States' principles, so democracy, um, also equality, things like that, and how Israel does reflect a lot of the things that the United States believes in. However, there's another side to this as well, and it's with the Palestinians' perspective. And you have to always understand both sides to a situation. And I think that with the United States right now, I think that a lot of the elites don't understand that there has been a quote unquote occupation. I think when you look at the Palestinian perspective, they view it as the Israelis do not belong here. We have been here for a lot longer, since way before 1948, when the Israeli
Yeah, about
state,
70 years.
yeah, way before that. There are people who are still alive in Palestine today who did not have to deal with the establishment of Israel. They remember it when they were young, prior to Israel being um, created after World War II. And there are also people like that, and they view that. And also, Palestine they have been a land that has been under siege by the British as well.
That's right.
So they have been under for quite a while, and people believe that this is an occupation. They believe that right now it's an apartheid state because people living in Gaza do not have the same opportunities, the same rights as people in Israel. They view it as, well, look, in Gaza specifically, I think it's 50% unemployment rate. It's a really astounding number. It's a really bad statistic. A lot of people do live in poverty there. While
Yep.
you look at Israel and you look at the modernity of cities like Tel Aviv and Ashdod and Jerusalem, and you kind of see the inequality there as well. And I think that that's the Palestinian perspective. I think that there are scholars out there right now, and I don't know if you agree with this, but they believe that this is the Black Lives Matter of for Israel right now. It's like the movement they have to face as a society, as a country.
In terms of
It's just
advocating for
advocacy for Palestinian rights. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of debate going on especially within the academic sphere about like the pressure that Palestinians face. If you guys want to watch a good debate, this was before all the conflicts happened. This was done back in February. But a really good debate I recommend you watch is the Noam Chomsky versus Richard Rockman debate that took place. Noam Chomsky is, of course, he's more known for this. I'm not sure if he's more known for like being one of the creators of linguistics. He's an MIT professor. He's been doing politics for a good amount of years now, since forever. I mean,
Yeah, he's like the big progressive.
he's like the OG progressive. Actually, I think he's come off as a bit radical every once in a while, but I mean, he's really well spoken. But I recommend that debate. And Rockman, he certainly holds up himself in terms of advocating for Jewish rights while having that nuance of saying, okay, I don't really approve of what's going on within these specific regions and the history that's been taking place between Israelis and Palestinians.
Yeah, that's definitely something. I didn't ever watched it, but I know that I have followed some of the things that Noam Chomsky has spoken about. And I saw that recently there was something on Twitter going around and saying that I know that he's pretty pro-Palestinian. I think he's really against Israel. And he said that self-defense, it was something along the lines of occupation, and how that he believes that the Palestinians have a right to defend themselves. And a lot of people have posted that in terms of for the Palestinians. And also you could see there have also been some others as well, people who have been posting. Nelson Mandela, that's been one as well, where his quote about we're not free until Palestinians are free, that one has been going around a lot as well. So a lot of people have been posting things like that on Twitter, on Instagram. I've seen a lot of that as well. But going back to that debate, I think that would be something that we could do a reaction to, or we could watch. And
It's a long debate. Trust me. I think it's like almost an hour and a half.
Jeez. Yeah, maybe we won't watch.
And Noam Chomsky, you could fall asleep to Noam Chomsky.
True. Yeah, that's the thing.
Like, the guy's 92 years old. I mean, God bless him for living that long, but
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I forgot it's that long, but I haven't seen a lot of it, so I couldn't really talk a lot about that. But I think it's definitely something that, I mean, in terms of academics, like this ongoing conflict is something that I think you're going to look back on and say, well, the U.S., well, specifically focused on the U.S. in the West, some are going to say that they dropped the ball on this and saying that maybe they should have shifted towards a more pro-Palestinian approach, while others are going to say, well, you have to continue to defend Israel, even though they might do things that are out of character. And also, when you look at it too, a lot of people have advocated that Israel has violated international law. This has kind of been a subject along the lines of a lot of people who are pro-Palestinian because of the ethics and also the decision-making process behind the utilization of airstrikes. And also, not on top of that, ethnic cleansing as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people have claimed that the unwanted force of evicting people is ethnic cleansing, which it is. It does fit the description of that. And a lot of people have really criticized the United Nations for how slow and how sluggish they reacted to this. I mean, they could have demanded a ceasefire a long time. They could have demanded it days before when it eventually happened.
Yeah, and
I know
then
that the U.S. was very halty about it. But yeah, in terms of international law, a lot of people have been livid because of that and saying that Israel needs to be held accountable. But the politics of the United Nations has halted it from going on.
Right, exactly. I mean, if we would have done this sooner, I mean, think about all the civilian lives that were lost during this conflict, I mean, including women and children. I mean, there's been a lot of debate going on in terms of the efficacy of these attacks. Some have justified it, saying that Israel was warning people to get out of buildings because they were worried that Hamas was hiding in them, and then kind of using civilians as a shield.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of them was the Associated Press building that was bombed in Gaza.
Yep.
That was a big event that happened. I commented that on the Vosh video. I got some flack for that, but I digress. But there is certainly a level of accountability that Israel needs to take place in terms of minimizing civilian casualty.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's been a history of Israeli forces not being nice to Palestinians. Look at the tons of protests that have gone on back in 2014. I remember Israelis opening fire on not even terrorists. They were just protesters and workers from Palestinian people.
Yeah, and you look at that too with the Al-Aqsa Mosque that just happened roughly about 2 weeks ago as well. And a lot of people have questioned the use of force by the Israeli police. They have different there was videos of them using the thing they called the skunk, which is like a tank truck that goes through the streets of Gaza and also East Jerusalem, where a lot of Palestinians live. And it was just spraying people, people just, enjoying the outdoors. And there have been a lot of talks about the ethics behind the Palestinian police and also the IDF in their treatment of Palestinians. Yeah, it's definitely something that a lot of people have also questioned with Israel. And I don't really want to switch over and change the topic a tiny bit, but I do want to talk a little bit about Netanyahu and his Twitter.
Yes.
I think that might be something that might be a little bit interesting.
He's been posting a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he has been posting a lot. And what's weird is that he has been posting a lot of just a lot of videos and media that have been very supportive of Israel.
Yeah, he posted a PragerU video.
Yeah, he posted a PragerU video. He's posted, retweeted. I don't know if it was him or it was the IDF. They retweeted something by, what's the actress's name? She played
Gal
Wonder
Gadot.
Woman. Huh?
Gal Gadot.
Yeah, Gal Gadot. Yep. He retweeted her as well. But I just want to. It's always interesting to see what he posts, and he did retweet something from PragerU, and a lot of people. You should have seen the comments. A lot of people were just roasting him about this.
Yeah, PragerU.
Oh yeah, this is it.
Israeli military.
Can you hear that?
What
Yes,
you
I
hear
can.
in most of the media
We'll
and
play
the
this
truth.
video real quick.
I'm going to tell you the truth. I was the commander of British forces in Afghanistan. I have fought in combat zones around the world, including Northern Ireland, Bosnia, Macedonia, and Iraq.
Yeah, so just a little bit of brief background, and also just to talk about this really quickly. This video I think it was just came out from PragerU, because I don't think they posted this yet.
Yeah, check the date on it.
I didn't see it on their YouTube. Like, this was only very recent, I believe. I don't think that this was something that came out not too long ago. But Charlie Kirk has done videos about this. There have been a lot of right-wing kind of medias. They've been doing a lot about Israel for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of that as well from the people I know on the right as well.
Yeah, they haven't really been doing a whole lot with Israel last year or the year before. There wasn't a whole lot with that. But now, due to the clashes going on, there has been. But I won't play you that whole video just because I don't really want to get copyright or whatever.
Dennis Prager, do not come after us.
I mean, it's
we love
fair
you.
Game to comment on it, so we could comment on it. So yeah, we'll just talk a little bit about that really quick. But the reason why he posted it was saying that the Israeli, army, as he put it right here, is the most moral army in the world, and he explains how the religion of Judaism definitely helps them out. Also, how they're a democracy, and all this, kind of propaganda in a way, plays a fact into how the IDF responds, how they act, and also how Israel conducts their foreign relations. So it's kind of like that. This guy is from the UK. He's a military commander. He makes it known that he's not Jewish, so therefore it is not biased in any way. It's very.
I mean, if you're saying you're not Jewish, that doesn't really mean a lot.
Well, he said it. He said it in the video, and a lot of people are like, ooh. But yeah, this has had over 500,000 views from Netanyahu's Twitter, and a lot of people have been vocal about this and saying that, look, you're just posting a bunch of crap. You are not focusing on what's going on in the streets of Gaza. Shame on you. There have been a lot of people discussing this. Shame on you. You are not focusing on the real issue here in Gaza. You are not talking about the humanitarian abuses that have been going on, the human rights violations. And this has been a big black eye for Israel, I believe, because of that. And I think that with Netanyahu also, don't forget, Big Don, I don't know if you know this, 4 months prior, Netanyahu, I believe, was on trial for corruption.
Yeah, he was. I did know that.
Mm-hmm. So
I think this kind of delayed that as well.
And you know what it is too? I think this is just my thing. And there's also been academics who believe this as well. Having a crisis, kind of like this ongoing conflict, has given Netanyahu a second chance in a way of kind of whatever you want to say, kind of reestablishing himself as the leader of Israel. It's given him time to reform his image, make him someone who, is liked, viewed at as a leader by the public, and someone who can lead Israel, to a place where they don't have to deal with Hamas or Palestinians. I mean, that's quote unquote what he's getting at. So I think that I was watching a video today. I don't know if you've heard of WION, the Indian news, which has got.
No, I have not. I'm gonna go look them up.
So if you look on YouTube, I don't know if a lot of people have known this, but I don't know if you've seen this on Twitter, but a lot of Indians have been pro-Israeli. This is because of Modi and Netanyahu, I believe, are really good, close buddies. Yep. And also because of the role of religion as well. That's kind of
there's a lot of animosity between Hindus and Muslims.
Mm-hmm. And that's also a reason. But WION, I don't know what it is with the YouTube algorithm, but if you search like Palestine, Israel, WION has been really doing a lot of research, a lot of coverage of this. They've been doing a pretty good job because I believe that they have kind of shown both sides pretty equally. They do about 50-50 for Israeli Palestinian coverage. I think that they've done a really great job in terms of the media. They've done videos on how there's been fake news going around on both sides, how there have been videos taken out of context on Twitter, on Instagram that have been false. I don't know if you've seen the video of all the Israeli people like parading around, and there was a big burning like thing. Like on the top of the screen, they were all having like dancing and being cheerful. I don't know if you saw that video.
I didn't see that video.
So that video was surfacing right around the time when Al-Aqsa Mosque, I believe, got raided. And people on the pro-Palestinian side were claiming that this is the quote unquote, all the Israeli people who want the destruction of Palestine. They are cheering, they're humiliating us. Well, WION found out that that video was from 5 days before at a Israeli, I don't know what it was. I think it was like a Jewish festival or something. And what happened was they had fireworks, and then the fireworks hit a tree, and then the tree basically caught on fire, and everyone
That's
thought it
not
was
good.
amazing. Everyone thought it was amazing, so they all cheered. That's what happened in that video, and it happened 3 or 4 days before the whole it got out of hand. And then there's another video.
Wait, hold on. Before you get to it, would you say that is amazing? Amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty insane, that video. It is going around. I don't know if it's still going around anymore, but that was going around not too long ago. And then there was another video on the Israeli side, and a lot of people in Israel were retweeting this and saying that Hamas is using human shields. And this video, believe it or not, was actually from the Israeli army like 5 years prior. And it was them moving tanks in northern, they were going through a neighborhood in northern Israel, and they were just bringing it to a base. And that was fake news as well. Like that never happened. That was not Hamas. That was a video from 5 years ago. And how that misinformation really sparked a charge among people. And
yeah, you can really make up anything these days in terms of news.
Oh, I mean, this has been going on for a long time. But I mean, with social media, and this goes on just for anything too. This could be like a little bit of a lesson here. Social media, since you could post anything and caption it anything, or have a video of anything, you could get people to believe anything. Nothing is credible anymore on social media. We could search something and it could be absolutely fake, not verified, not vetted, nothing. And we could, I mean, it's illegal, but people do that today. They take videos and they use it for their own narrative. They do it to spin it. People spin things today. I mean, that's on every side. Hands down, people will do it. And they do it because they want to see the reaction of others. They do it because they want to see the gullible viewer and what they would say about it, And it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it really is unfortunate. I mean, and this is not just run-of-the-mill Twitter user. These are large organizations that want to stir up propaganda and use that to their benefit in terms of having views and clickbaiting. Let's call it like it is. It's clickbaiting.
Mm-hmm. That is clickbaiting, and they do it time and time again. They want to do it because they know how people will react. They want to get people to click. They want people to get engaged, and they want people to really feel emotionally distressed or just impact them emotionally. They want to do this. That's kind of their end goal with it. And you could see how contentious Twitter was. Now, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about this, or do you want to get into the polls, but I think that our polls this week and last week really show how active people are on this issue.
Yes, we had a good turnout for our first poll, and we had some good turnout for our second poll as well. But our first poll was definitely eye-opening in terms of how people thought about this. I mean, I think the timing of it was right in terms of when we polled it. But here's the poll right here. We got a good two-thirds split in terms of people that say need a two-state solution, but there's
Yeah.
also a good percentage of this. 27 people voted on this. That's some pretty good turnout, if you ask me.
Yes, and you know what? This was from May 13th, so this was right when it was really ongoing. It was just starting. It was about 2-3 days into the fighting. This was right after Al-Aqsa, and this was right after the Hamas fired retaliatory rockets into Israel. And this one, even though we did not really understand who was voting, that was the problem with this poll, was that we did not know who was voting. They did not indicate where they were from or anything. That's why we do the hashtags to try to get people who look at certain hashtags. I stand with Palestine. I stand with Israel. We do Palestinian lives matter, Israeli lives matter. We did things like that. We wanted to get people on both sides to engage, because if we just did one biased hashtag theme, then we'd only get one side to vote. So we really wanted to get both sides involved, and also people from everywhere, from the United States to Asia to Middle East to everywhere. That's what we wanted to get. The problem with this question was that it was too broad. We did not know whether people were for the full liberation of Palestine or the full liberation of Israel. This question was a little open-ended, saying that should there be a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict? Most people said no. They like the one-state solution, while 33% did want both sides.
Yeah. And
I did have
go
an
back to
issue.
polling here. I did an Instagram poll as well as this. Now, Instagram is totally different because you can't really hashtag like a story or anything. But it was interesting to see because I think 100% of the people that were polled for the Instagram poll supported this two-state solution. So this is interesting in terms of demographics here. I think it's good. It's because I think a lot of these people are from outside of the U.S., so the narratives could be a lot different if we're going to go back to media.
Yep, agree. Yeah, it was yeah. Go ahead.
But if we go to our latest poll,
yeah, this one was from just a couple days ago, and I think that this question should have came out first, so it should have came out for the 13th. But still, this is still a relevant topic to discuss. This was actually very fitting because this was right before the peace deal. I mean, the ceasefire was brokered, but this one does say a lot. This one just went final a couple hours ago. We did get 9 votes. I was hoping to get maybe 15 to 20 votes.
Yeah, 9 votes is not bad.
9 votes is not bad. It's pretty decent. We got we did all different hashtags, from pro-Palestinian hashtags to pro-Israeli hashtags. We really wanted to see what both sides thought, and we got 9 responses, and a majority believe that the fault of this recent conflict was at the hands of Israel. They believe that Israel was responsible for this recent conflict.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's not saying that there were people in the minority that believe Palestine was at fault. And I mean,
they can certainly make an argument.
You can make an argument about either. This is not clear cut. This issue is something, I mean, we'll be probably talking about this for a couple weeks now, but this is not something that is, you could say, oh, the Palestinians are at fault, and here's why. Or you could say the Israelis are at clear fault, here's why. This is something that involves really looking back into history and really saying, well, I mean, it kind of, since this is such a long, in terms of duration, how long this conflict has been ongoing, you really need to analyze both sides. It's not something where you can just point the finger at one country and say, they're at fault, and bam, they're at fault. Hands down, they're at fault. Nope, you can't say that. You have to really look into why both sides believe in what they believe. And you have to kind of analyze and say, is this country really at fault, or are these people at fault? It's something that does not take it will not take, you cannot just right then and there say Israel's at fault. You have to really look into it. That was a better way of saying it.
Absolutely. I mean, it's always good to question your standpoints on certain views and say, what if I'm wrong here? And finding out getting outside of your echo chamber here. But I think it's very fair to say we thank you all for everyone that participated in these polls. We really appreciate the feedback and information you give us. Obviously, this is very telling of what people think in the spur of the moment during events like these. We really appreciate that.
Exactly. We thank you every single time. With this new season, we have been doing our recent polls for a couple times now, but the past two polls with both on Israel and Palestine have been doing extremely well. We are probably going to do another poll soon. We don't know what it's going to be on though. Could be on UFOs. Could be on
We did an Instagram poll on UFOs. We got 100% agreement on UFOs being real. So
hey, there you go. Yeah. So we are going to still continue doing the polls every Thursday, hopefully in the afternoon Eastern time. So maybe 2-3 o'clock Eastern time. So go check your calendars for that. But always go follow us on Twitter. We always do just let you all know when we post, everything like that. And we always want to do more polls. So we're going to probably do more polls as well. But as of right now, Thursday in the afternoon Eastern time, sometime 2 or 3 p.m. Eastern time, we will be doing a poll every single week. It closes on Saturday around 6 o'clock Saturday. It's about 2 days and about 4 hours. It is live for us. So even if you don't fill it out on Tuesday, you can always go to our Twitter and go to the recent tweets and you'll see the poll. You can always go vote on that. We always want to see what our viewers think and also the Twitter sphere thinks. But I think this is a great moment now to pivot from the ongoing conflict in the Middle East to something that is a lot more interesting. Well, is interesting, a lot more fun, not interesting, a lot more fun, and that is with the UFOs.
Now, I do have an update for you.
Yeah.
So we got one of our fan favorites here at the Peace and Chaos program, G. Urso. He responded to a message that I sent to him about our podcast for tonight, and he had this to say. He said, "Guys, I can't make it, but all I'm going to say is UFOs are 100% real. Alex Jones was right." I don't even know if Alex Jones believes in UFOs, but we are covering UFOs tonight. It's a trending topic, as I alluded to before. There's a lot of interest within politics to find out the fundamental question of what these objects are in the sky and whether or not we're truly alone in the universe.
Exactly. Yeah, this video has been surfacing. This one was like of some weird object. I think this was the Navy. I don't know what branch of the military, but this was from some branch of the military. And they saw this random object flying, and I think it went under the water. This has been going around a lot. Let's play the video, though. This is from CNN Business. Some weird shape. It looks like an egg. So it says, a leaked video taken by a U.S. Navy ship appears to show an unidentified aerial phenomena, a UAP, hovering over the water. Yeah, they call this a UAP. That's like the abbreviation that they call.
I just call it a UFO. For Christ's sakes.
This definitely looks weird, though.
Yeah, we have 31 knots sustained wind, topside, gust of 40.
Jeremy Corbell released the video.
Splashed. Mark bearing and range.
So the Pentagon has responded about this and said that the videos and photos of the UAPs are part of ongoing examinations. So yeah, this is still, they're still looking at this, but now it is in the public domain.
It's rotated.
So there'll be a lot more information to come in June. So Congress will be discussing this. I think these congressional recordings, these meetings are going to be a lot of fun to watch, though. So watch it on C-SPAN to definitely catch up. I want to definitely hear what a lot of our congressional leaders think about this. I also want to hear more about what information they can disclose to the public as well, because they have been trying to hide this information from people. But yeah, let's continue. So the Navy believes that this could be an unidentified aircraft. They don't really tell you what that is in terms of a description, but a lot of people have suspected that this is a UFO, and a lot of people have believed that this could be a UFO.
The alien.
Yeah, it could be. Oh yeah, remember this one? 2004.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west.
And that right there was the video.
We are sorry for any headphone users that to witness that. We deeply apologize for the quality of mics that were in 2004. But it's a very interesting phenomenon. And I do have my own personal story with unidentified flying objects.
Let's go. I want to hear that, Big Don.
All right.
Take away the story time.
Yep, this is going to be like the Joe Rogan experience where we have someone like Joey Diaz come on and they talk about like what the hell's going on in Jersey, dog. Okay, so my personal UFO story starts back in my freshman year of college. Now, me and PJ go to school on an ocean side campus. And if you examine UFOs, they like to hang out over the water for some reason. I'm not sure if it's to be noticed on land, but there's a lot of UFO sightings that have gone on within the ocean. And so one night, I was in the common room of my dorm. So I look into the sky, and I notice this. I usually see planes and helicopters flying over. You can usually recognize the lights of that.
Well, there is a airport like right by where we go to school, so that's also one thing. And also like where we lived 2 years ago when we were freshmen. Where you lived and I lived, we lived right on the ocean. It was kind of like a cove area, but still, we lived right on the ocean. You could literally see at nighttime, the moon was like literally, you could just see it shining right in. It was insane.
Yes, and I look out my window and I see this big bright orange light. Now, since I was a UFO freak back then, I immediately picture, is that a UFO? Because usually, I mean, you don't really see any light like this in the sky. So I go outside my dorm. I go around the back to look at the shore. Once I get there, the light is a lot bigger. I mean, when I was looking out at my dorm window, it looked like it was a bit far out into the sea there. Now when I get out, it's a lot more closer to the coast. And I can sort of make out like it's getting a lot closer to the shore, and it definitely did not move like any aircraft I've seen, and definitely didn't have any engine. So that made any noise because usually, I mean, you can apply this to any motor vehicle that moves. They have engines. They make noise. You can hear them from miles away. But this one didn't. It definitely did not move like an aircraft. It definitely moved a lot faster, and in a particular path that did not match any sort of aircraft I have ever seen before. And for a second, I got scared that I was going to get abducted. I mean, you hear these stories about people getting abducted. Now, a lot of it could be fake. A lot of the process that goes on with it is highly questionable, because usually what happens is people can't remember the exact experience, so they have to go to like hypnosis treatment. There's a lot of stuff like time being jumped between like the time you were abducted and the time you were brought back to Earth, and you don't remember a thing. So I immediately checked my phone to see if there was any like time jump, and thankfully there wasn't. So I could say I didn't get abducted, but I definitely saw some weird stuff that night.
Do you think it was like some sort of maybe plane or like a jet?
I don't think it was a plane, because it did not. If it was a plane, I would have heard it.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. And it was and the light was a lot brighter than any sort of plane light I've ever seen before.
Was it a blimp?
No, it was a lot faster than a blimp.
Weird. You never took a photo of it?
I never took a photo of it because I can only get like a glimpse of it.
Okay. Was it a cloudy night?
No, it wasn't clear. It was clear as day that night.
Okay. Very strange. I thought I saw something like that actually this year, but I think it was just like, it wasn't a plane though. It was very quiet, similar to what you were saying as well. And what was weird? I was looking out on the east side, right on the Bay Area as well. And like, I just saw it as well. And it was like really strange. I saw something like really bright and it was traveling really fast. So I don't know, maybe it's something in our area. I don't know what it is, but Big Don, I saw something similar to this. I would say in April. And I'm not even making this up. This sounds
Really?
a lot similar to what I saw, but I saw it very closely and I'm like, am I like, I mean, the weird thing was that I was very tired that day. And I was just walking to work. I work as a security guard. And I was just going to work to my security booth area. And right outside, I just looked up into the sky. It's some weird shining thing. It was really bright. And it was going really fast. Maybe it was some sort of asteroid. I have no clue. I don't really know a lot about it. But I did see it. And I was like, it's not making a noise. It's really far up, though. Maybe it's the International Space Station. I don't know. I was like, very confused. I was like, never seen something like this before. It could just be, I don't know. It could be something a lot, just normal that just looked strange in the nighttime. I don't know. It could be anything, but I saw something similar to that, but it was literally 5 seconds gone.
Yeah, that's what it felt like for me. I mean, you can only get like a small glimpse of it. And then it just moved on.
Yeah, that is insane.
Like you blink and it's gone.
Yeah, in a blink of an eye, it is all gone. Yeah, that is insane. It's definitely something, though, I think a lot of people are interested in. I don't know if there are other people who, have these kind of maybe have witnessed something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, if you run a UFO podcast, we would love to share our testimonies with you.
Yeah, I've seen this weird thing, and it sounds a lot like what you've seen, Big Don. You said it was very flashy. It was like a flashy looking thing that
was
fast.
Bright. It was bright as day.
So these photos of like the other ones, yeah, this is not. I mean, the shape is kind of similar, but it was very bright. Like that is dark looking. Like the photos that they have. Like look at this one. This is. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, some of these ones, it has to be very bright. Like, I don't know what. Some of this is just animation garbage like that, but like I did see something very bright in the sky, like literally 2 months ago, which is so strange. Because I didn't really talk about it because I was like, I don't really think this is a UFO, but it really matches the description. And also, what's weird, Big Don, is that it was right around the area, kind of right where, right over the ocean as well. So strange.
Very strange. Now, we cannot confirm that was beings from another planet. But if you were to ask me whether or not I believe in aliens, I would say hell yes.
I would agree too. I think, and I mean, not only that, but recently Mars, for instance, they have determined that there are like little microorganisms living on Mars.
Right. There's a lot of evidence to say that there was some sort, not life, like human life on Mars, but there are like pockets of water and ice. I mean, that ice had to come from something.
Mm-hmm.
And there's definitely some evidence out there that that maybe Mars could be maybe be someday habitable. Depending on like that, it's obviously independent on our technological advancements of getting to Mars and sort of agriculture. But it's interesting to think about. Now, I do not think the aliens come from Mars. Chances are, if aliens were visiting us, they would come from a system probably a solar system probably close by to us.
Yeah.
And they probably have the technological capability of traveling that far.
True. I think that it would have to be an advanced, a planet where there are similar, traits to Earth, in ways that people can not people, but beings can, support themselves, but also, a planet where we do have similar technological advancements, where they can build objects like UFOs. They understand, different things that we understand here in terms of travel and innovation. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be within our solar system. I think it's probably within another system close by. I do think that there is something out there that is pretty much kind of on the same lines as us humans on Earth, but I'm just not too sure whether we'll know what this is in our lifetime.
Yeah, it's going to be a big what if. I mean, they have not revealed themselves yet. So we shall wait on our supreme space alien overlords to come take us over.
Yeah, that is going to be I can't wait though, because they said in June the government will disclose more information with Congress. So we will get more of an understanding of what these sightings are that the Navy found recently. Whatever information we can get, though, we will definitely bring it to you. And I can't wait. I definitely want to hear more. I'm eager to understand more, see what these, things are. Are they UFOs? Are they just, I don't know, something else that we should be worried about? We should know what this is. I think Americans have a right to understand what this is, what is circulating in our, jurisdiction.
Absolutely. I mean, I think in regards to, I think what's going to happen is, I think the government will kind of admit that we ultimately won't know what these aircrafts are. Maybe they'll give some sort of information on countries that are advancing in aviation and the technology behind that. I don't think they will confirm anything about aliens though.
Yeah, I don't think they will either. I think that is more of a mystery that we will not know for quite a while.
But we shall see. We shall see with this information. I mean, there's a 60-minute story on it. It's been getting a lot of attention in Congress, as we alluded to. A lot of people are interested in this, and obviously it's developed a huge fandom beyond the realm of science fiction. There are whole communities based on UFOs.
Oh yeah, there's the whole Area 51 crowd.
There was the raid.
The raid. Oh, there are people that believe that aliens are coming and they're going to come to Earth soon. There are community groups like that in the world that believe in this. I don't know if we should be that optimistic, hopeful, whatever you say. I don't think it's going to be that easy. I think it's going to take time and time and time for us to discover more and more about what these beings are, what these flying things are, and where they're coming from, what's their origin. Because chances are they are not coming from a planet in our solar system.
Absolutely. But I think we shall leave it at that. We'll definitely keep you updated on what the revelations will come out of this proposal.
Definitely. Yes.
In terms of other stuff for tonight.
Other stuff, there's been a few other things going on in terms of the realm of politics. There has been the Trump, now going back to the US politics here, there has been the whole investigation of the Trump Foundation, I believe, which was the New York Southern District of
New York.
Yeah, they're doing an ongoing investigation, which is criminal. That has been going on. Oh, there was a big issue. Oh, remember? I don't know if you saw it on Hannity this week, but Dan Bongino and
Squarehead.
Rivera, yeah, they had a big argument, which was like pretty insane. I can try to pull up the video. Hold on.
It's like a Jesse Lee Peterson argument.
It was pretty funny.
No, not gonna say it. Not gonna say. All right, Dan wants to stream. Not gonna do it. It's too powerful.
It was a Geraldo Rivera and Dan Bongino.
Oh, Geraldo.
Yeah, it was over Israel and Palestine too. It was like pretty heated. Let's see here. Yeah, I can't find the video. Hold on. Oh yeah, the Daily Beast. Geraldo throws paper, turns back on camera during a Bongino fight. I mean, the thing with Sean Hannity though is he has the same people on. He always has Dan Bongino, sometimes has Geraldo. He'll put on some other person from Fox. He'll put him on or them on. He'll have like maybe one conservative person.
Maybe they'll go liberal.
Kayleigh McEnany he'll have on occasionally. He'll have on Mike Pompeo occasionally. He's had the president on once, Trump. Who else has he had? Oh, he has Leo Terrell on a lot. That's like his new go-to guy. I mean, I don't watch it too often, but yeah, where's this video? I can't get this ad. That sucks.
The PayPal.
This sucks. Well, anyways, yeah, this whole one was about how Rivera defended squad member Rashida Tlaib, who had like a speech in Congress that targeted the U.S. and criticized the U.S. and its allies. I mean, this is going back to the Israeli conflict, but in the U.S.'s stance. And Geraldo kind of criticized the United States and also criticized Israel, and how he, I guess he was a reporter in the Middle East for quite a while, and he claimed that he had a good understanding of the conflict going on. And it kept going on and on. Bongino held that conservative viewpoint and saying that Israel's our number one ally. Therefore, we need to supply them and continue to supply them against defenses by the terrorist group Hamas. While Geraldo was saying that, well, look, what Israel is doing is human rights violations. They are killing women and children in Gaza. This needs to stop.
You know what this is going to lead to?
What?
This is going to be very beneficial for the
QR code is used in our farm store to take touch-free payments. We are seeing 70.
What are you saying, Big Don?
This is going to be beneficial to the United States either way, because we're going to be selling weapons to both of them for crying out loud. We've did that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, here's the video. Here's it.
So
children.
Thanks, Dan Bongino.
Geraldo, you do this every time. This is such garbage, and I'm really getting sick of it. You play this emotional game with the audience and use your position of responsibility to put out misinformation and
stop
BS.
attacking
you did it
me,
on the
punk.
police thing.
Address the issue. Do you have the guts to address the issue and not address? This is not about me.
Can you?
Is this why everyone at Fox started going to Newsmax? I don't know.
I think the thing with Fox, for instance, I think is that they kind of run out of personalities. So they just rely on two people who,
like ESPN.
Yeah, they rely on two people. I mean, in ESPN's case, it's Stephen A. and Max Kellerman for most of it.
They're stretching Stephen A. If I want to go into a side reel about that, they've really stretched Stephen A. Like you've seen him like in MMA. And
he does not know what he's talking about. He does not.
Yeah, he just sits next to Joe Rogan and he's like, well, I've seen the tape and I think this guy's going to win.
Oh, he has no idea what he's talking about with MMA. And Joe even said it. Joe says he does not know what's going on. And like, just, on that whole side thing. But
the New York Knicks.
Oh, yeah, he goes on this whole rant. And then he'll go on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
How about them? Okay, we're getting off track here.
Yeah, but
Fox is definitely taking on this role because I think they're just running out of pure personalities here, especially Tucker. Now, I think this is going to segue into us talking about our the poll no, not the poll, the rankings we got for GOP candidates. But we'll go back to Dan Bongino here and Geraldo with that glorious mustache, by the way.
This is not about me.
Can you?
You didn't come on this show to attack me.
Yourself.
You came on the show to talk about the issue.
Because again,
do you have a point about the issue?
Your position of authority.
I'm sick of you, Bongino. I'm sick of you.
That are absolutely outrageous.
Geraldo,
You're
let him talk.
Uncontrolled lunatic.
Geraldo, let him talk.
Because you can't go on the air.
I'm an out of control
lunatic. Can you calm down? Yeah, you really
I'm a
need to calm
10-time
down.
Emmy winner
Maybe
with
try
deep experience in the Middle East.
Have you ever?
Oh boy, that was absolutely insane. That was absolutely insane. But Fox News has had these kind of eruptions, but they don't happen as much as they used to. But this one right here was definitely one that, I mean, that was on Twitter like a couple nights ago, and it was all about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and how, I mean, in this one, the prompter says Biden refuses to condemn the anti-Israel extremists inside his own party. I mean, Sean Hannity, all that he talks about is kind of like the left wing. That's kind of where his show is on. And Dan Bongino always comes on and he always gives his grievances, and then that's it. That's the show. But yeah, that one was interesting. But I mean, like what we said with Fox News, I feel like they run out of ideas for their personalities. And plus, I don't think a lot of people have been watching the news in general. I think it's definitely gone down since the election. And this is for all different newscasts. People don't really watch it as much anymore. And it shows you how dead like the media is in the US. Some forms of the media in terms of TV.
Absolutely. I mean, people, this is not even news anymore. You can't get it anywhere objective anymore. We go back to the biases here. You know, in researching the Israel conflict, you know what source I had to go to get a good idea?
What?
An Australian news source.
Yeah, I told you, and I preached this. I've been looking at Al Jazeera, WION, the AP, BBC for like the Western approach. And then if you really want to get to the Israeli approach, it's Haaretz, HAERTZ. It's the Israeli newspaper, which is pretty biased, but just to see like the different angles to this. Yeah, I don't really rely on the US, a lot of American news media companies, because I just think that they stretch things and then they just, they edit it for their own, well-being.
Exactly.
Yeah, and this is
we should do a segment on the media because
oh yeah, we have to do something on them.
And I think there's a lot of ground we can get here. Maybe we can get some people within the media.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. We got a long way to grow here, people. But This is why thankfully we got a summer here.
Yeah, definitely. And I know we talk about this a lot, and although we sound like broken records when we talk about the media, it is true. The media has become, I mean, it has been for, decades now, but people have never admitted how biased it has been, how it has formed people to think of things in a certain way. The media has definitely been a tool used to kind of guide the public. And, over the years, people have become more conscious of that. And I know that in college now and in high school, there have been a lot of things in terms of credibility and how a lot of educators have really wanted to focus on younger generations and what is a credible source, what isn't a credible source, kind of diversifying how they consume news, not just relying on one source,
I'll say this.
Mm-hmm.
I learned this from Billiam Burr. He had a good saying when he was on Conan. I think it was a couple nights ago. He said this: "If it's not from a library, I don't trust it."
Ooh.
But that's straight facts.
That is a fact. That is a fact.
If you're not getting your information from a library, back when when you wanted to go look up something, you go check which section it's in. Go use the book finders there, and then you take out the book, and then you go pay the overdue fee.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you get your education from. Nowadays,
exactly.
Thankfully, the internet provides us with a lot of information to analyze, but it leads people down the wrong paths. Yes. Now, I'm not saying we encourage one particular path over another. But at the same time, it's very important to be vigilant. What's going on?
Yep. And you have to be aware of, what you're consuming. Don't take everything with a grain of salt. I've been told this at a young age. The things that you see on the internet may be false. They may be twisted. It might not even be true. In terms of social media, we're not talking about news agencies in particular, but things on social media posts, things that might relate to a certain topic that is in the news. Never really. What I preach is that always check with different sources. Don't always rely on one single source. Check with different sources and see if it's verified. If it's not verified, then why are you looking at it? And you always have to check, different things. And when you're doing your research for a research paper, this is also kind of key as well. Go onto your databases. Go check databases. Go check
your college database. Go check your library there.
Don't be going on to some random blog on freaking Google.
Yeah, BuzzFeed.
Oh yeah, that's
big garbage.
Complete. Yeah, they do a lot of some of the things they do aren't even news though. They do a lot of these kind of I don't even know, miscellaneous kind of thing.
They stopped being political for a while. They used to be political.
Remember the dossier? That was their big claim to fame.
I know.
And now
then that kind of inspired the sort of right wing craze starting back 2014 to 15 about lunatic SJWs. Oh god, I could do a whole segment on this, but
damn, we could do a whole movie, documentary.
With Dan Bongino as Square Head. Dan Bongino looks like So Real James.
Oh yeah. We showed you that. Yeah, we could pull up a picture.
No, man's hideous.
Oh boy.
He's got that square head.
Oh boy.
Play wear some square pants too, kid.
Hey.
Yeah,
let's see.
But I didn't think that was pure comedy gold, especially when Geraldo just crumbled up his paper and then just chucked it. No!
Can't find him on here. So Real James?
Type in So Real 187.
Okay, yeah, that should work.
This was a character from the El Presidors.
Oh, boy.
We shout out El Presidor a lot. We tried to limit our speech, but this particular poll, since it was known for the Area 51 memes,
there he is.
Look at him. He does look like that. He looks like Dan Bongino's lost cousin there. Man. He's just abandoned. Yes, that square head.
Damn. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, we get a little comical here on the Peace and Chaos program. We
gotta get comical because you're covering the news all day. You're trying to reiterate what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you gotta spice it up. We gotta take a page on the media here, and then we gotta go step outside of that comfort zone for a little bit.
Yeah. Here on the Peace and Chaos program, people, we always try to be serious with. I mean, you kind of notice that we're serious in terms of the serious things. We always want to bring you the accurate news, and then we kind of get a little bit funny here because you know what? Being a serious, you can't just be serious sometimes. You got to mix it up and make it a little bit more fun, get the people engaged, get people to laugh and, have a good time. So that's what we just did there.
Yeah. Anything else in the Twitter sphere? I think we covered.
Let's just go on to Twitter trending. We haven't done this in quite a while. Let's go see
Dan. Bye.
Yeah, let's go see what's going on Twitter. Twitter trending. Anyways, on your Twitter trending right now,
playoffs.
Clippers got defeated today, 113-103, lost to Dallas. Eurovision, Italy won the Eurovision competition. I don't know. Do you know what Eurovision is, Big Don?
I have no idea what the hell Eurovision is.
All right, here's a little bit of a. I've watched it because I don't watch it. I just kind of stay up with it. So, Eurovision is it's like the World Cup for songwriters, and it's only in Europe. Israel gets invited for some reason, and Australia gets invited. Cyprus gets invited. Morocco, I believe, gets invited as well. but you have to qualify. So you have an artist representing your country, and what they do is they create their song and then you compete. So they compete against other artists and they have to qualify. So they have to get X amount of points in order to win. So this year, and also with Eurovision, is the country that wins gets to host it the next year. So this year, I don't know if you know the song Arcade by Duncan Lawrence. Big Don. You do know that song?
I do know that song.
So that song was the winner of 2019's Eurovision in Tel Aviv, Israel. That was the year when Israel won the year before. I forgot who the pop star was who won it for Israel. The song was called Toy the previous year, and that was the song that the Israeli artist sang, and that was the winning song. And then the next year, Israel got to host in 2019, and Duncan Lawrence won the Eurovision. So therefore, that's why I was in Rotterdam this year. So next year, it'll be somewhere in Italy. I don't know what city they're choosing, but I never listened to the song from this year, but Maneskin was the artist who represented Italy this year. And I don't know what their song was, but people get to vote on who won. And I know that Italy and Malta, I believe it was Italy and Malta were like the teams that everyone wanted. Finland also was a country that a lot of people liked. And yeah, they have different artists and singers, and they compete every year. It's a really cool event. And yeah, see how big it is? 3.28 million. We can go look it up and I'll show you more, but people in the US want the US to get involved with it. I can try to search some things about Eurovision though. But yeah, that song Arcade, which is pretty popular right now, that song was the winner a couple years ago. They did the whole music video a couple years ago, and yeah, let's see. Yeah, right here, Yahoo Life. Let's see right here. So yeah, Eurovision 2021 highlights. Italy reps for rock. Yeah, I believe the band was a rock band this year. And most of the songs that are featured in Eurovision are English songs. I think Ukraine was the only country this year that did a song in their own language in Ukrainian. And that made history, I believe, this year. Yeah. So all over Europe, Azerbaijan is also invited, and I think Armenia is invited as well in terms of Eurovision. But yeah, Italy won. They came in first. I think France came in second place with 499 points. Who came in third? Iceland came in third. And
Hey,
Ukraine,
Iceland. There you go.
Ukraine came in fourth. Fifth place was Finland. They were a big fan favorite because you can tell who's going to be like the representative of the artist of like each country. And a lot of people were believing that Malta was going to win it all. They were a fan favorite, and France was also a fan favorite as well. I think Italy was projected to go number 3, I believe, for Eurovision this year. But yeah, Italy came out on top and won it all. Congratulations to them. Congratulations to France and Iceland. I think this was the biggest one for Iceland in terms of their win. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. They're going to do this every single year. So if you're a songwriter or someone who loves music, pop music, whatever, you can watch it. It happens every May. So next year it'll be somewhere in Italy. I don't know what city they're going to choose, but yeah, go check it out next year. Yeah, this is the first time I believe they won in quite a while. And I believe Sweden's a big powerhouse. I don't know how well they did. Sweden didn't even make it into the top 10. They're a powerhouse.
Dynasty's over for Sweden.
Yeah, and Netherlands. I don't even think the Netherlands. Yeah, Netherlands had 11 points in total.
It's like Sweden's like the Warriors this year.
Yeah, and Ireland, I believe, was the only country to do a three-peat back in the 90s. Yeah, you can look it up here. It's a cool thing, though. I think that they should do it in the U.S., but do it by state. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I want to see Wyoming win.
Like a singing competition, Big Don?
I mean, we kind of have that with American Idol, but
no, I'm saying for states.
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, you can have.
Yeah,
I want to see Wyoming, like Idaho. I want to see those states represent. Speaking of Irish people, I'm gonna give you an NBA update for the people that are joining live. It's halftime for Game 1 of the Boston Celtics versus the Brooklyn Nets. The Celtics are up ahead of the Brooklyn Nets, 53-47. So that is your Peace and Chaos sports update. I know DJ is a Celtics fan, so he'll definitely appreciate that. And me being a Brooklyn hater, I also appreciate this.
Yeah. Amazing.
Even though I don't really, I mean, I respect the Celtics as a Knicks fan. I was happy that the team that I want to see lose the most is the Miami Heat. I don't like the Miami Heat.
Oh, they lost today.
They did. With the Chris Mills and shot.
Yeah, this is the Eurovision like little thing that they do. It's pretty cool though. I mean, you see every year a different country gets to host, depending on the winners. Yeah, Ireland won back in 1990 something. Yeah, they won 92. They hosted in 93 and they hosted in 94 and in 95 as well. And then they won in 96. Look at that. And then recently we had a couple winners from the past in Lisbon, 2018. Netta, the singer, won. That May 2019. Tel Aviv, the host. And that's when the song right now that's blowing up is Arcade. And that's rising in the charts in the US right now. And that was the song that came out 2 years ago. And now it's like becoming the big thing. And now this one by Zidi E. Boni, Maniskin. That's pretty cool though. It shows you how like, you know what's cool though about these things? They call this soft culture.
Yeah.
Soft culture is like, it's like hosting a sport competition or something that is not like, a show of force. It's like a show of, your culture. So like anything in terms of your beliefs or anything like that, popular culture. And hosting an event like this is really attractive into getting people, to look into your country. And it also kind of is, there are beliefs that hosting an event like this or hosting the Olympics helps out countries for the future. It engages more trust. People don't have the same political opinion about the country after they host an event like this. And specifically with Eurovision, it has been something that has really brought together countries in the West, and also with Morocco as well. And I believe Algeria did used to go. You just have to qualify, but they qualified in the past. And it has definitely brought in countries that maybe are not so unique. It has brought them in together, like Albania, which is a big Muslim country. It has brought them in together with a Christian majority Europe. Also, Israel has become involved. So it's, even though there have been cultural differences between the countries involved, it has definitely been something which has helped a lot of countries.
Yeah, but I mean, culture is it's very important for people to show off their culture, in my opinion, because it leads to further diversification of what could be improved and within their own certain country's culture. I mean, international music over here in the U.S. is especially big. So there's definitely a lot of people that I'm probably got to look into it. And I'll give a little glimpse into the Eurovision here.
Yeah, I don't know what people. Oh yeah, this band Zidi Boni was like some high school rock band. They formed on the X Factor in Italy. So yeah, these, like, if the US were to have like an artist, I think they should, I don't know, put someone up who's very talented. Yeah, they could definitely put someone out there and they could win it all. Yeah, it's pretty cool though. I definitely think that it's a cool event that you should watch next year, Eurovision. I don't know if it was, I only watched the highlights and just the songs that were pretty cool, but yeah, it's definitely it's an event that is not like The Voice or American Idol. It's a cool thing that only, countries within the European realm can be a part of. I hope that the US, Canada, maybe Mexico, maybe some other countries in Africa can get invited. I think it could definitely be, maybe the Olympics could do something like this.
Hell yeah. I say the US gets the baby to do it.
The baby? the rapper?
Represent Cleveland.
Oh my god.
He just turned.
He's from Carolina. No, we could do that. We could have him, or we could have who'd be another good rapper we could have. Let's see, Gunna.
A little peep.
Young Thug.
Yeah, there you go.
Young Thug. Who'd be a controversial 6ix9ine?
Yeah, Tekashi.
Oh man. Yeah, they could do. Every country could like have their own biggest. Well, we would probably have like Beyonce or someone.
Yeah, you had to roll out the carpet for those people, but
You'd bring Beyonce for the U.S. Barbados could have Rihanna. Trinidad could have Nicki Minaj. Colombia could have Shakira. Canada could have Drake. We could do all the big pop stars.
Well, we fantasize about that.
Anyways, yeah, that's what's going on right now for fighting. UFC Vegas is going on. Let's see what else is going on.
And that's just like NBA playoffs.
Yeah, it's a bunch of
playoffs.
Joe Buck, I don't know why. Giannis is trending. Phil Mickelson is trending. Oh, yeah, Rick Santorum. I don't know if a lot of people knew.
Got kicked off of CNN.
Yeah, he finally got fired for saying some things about Native Americans.
Now, when is Chris Cuomo going to get fired for defending his brother?
I don't think that will. I don't think he will. What else is trending? Walker Bueller's trending. Wow. Yeah, that's what's going on trending tonight, people. We just do this little trending look here. Yeah, it's not really a lot of things going on. Yeah, it's been a kind of a quiet week. There have been a few things going on, but overall, it's been really dominated by the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Absolutely, and we could spend a couple of podcasts debating it in terms of the events that led up to the current conflict we're seeing now. But we leave that for another day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Other than that, there's been restrictions. Lifting of restrictions in a lot of states within the U.S. So also to be aware of that as well. Check out your local restrictions, because I know now that the CDC has really lifted mostly everything in terms of masks. You don't have to wear them outside now. You have to wear them on public transportation still. And in businesses, I believe in some cities can still enforce it, but they're not as strict about it. So that also is something that you have to look at as well. But yeah, that I believe is going to do it for us today. You have anything to say, Big Don? Anything to add before we start wrapping it up?
No, we can go right into our usual spiel here about following us on social media and sort of the upcoming events that we have planned.
Definitely. So just to let you all know, since we are in season 2, we called it here Hustle Season. It's not going to be called Hustle Season. It'll be season 2. Hustle Season is kind of like the morale Big Don and I are going for here, where we're going to try to put out a lot more for you, all of you. We're not going to call it Hustle Season.
That's a name for ourselves.
Yeah. We called it that just to let you all know that we are going to try. We are on a path to put out more videos, more special projects, things like that for all our viewers. We want to make it so that this summer we can put out a lot more content, because let's face it, we've only done for the first season and ever since our founding last year in the summer, we were only really doing a couple videos every couple of weeks. But now we're trying to do live stream and video content, from GeoGuessr to polls to anything political, and anything else, maybe reactions, things like that. We really want to get it so that we can have a diverse array of what we can put out there for content. We really want all of you to enjoy it and really to kind of watch a lot more of our YouTube. So that's what we're kind of getting at. We really want to get a lot more in terms of content. And we believe that this summer, since it is a little bit easier for us now, we're not really working, or we're just doing internships. So it's not going to be a really strict time schedule like we were with school and work. But now we have more time on our hands. So therefore, we're going to put a lot more time into the Peace and Chaos program. Just to let you all know before we leave, to follow us on social media. We cannot emphasize this enough. Go onto YouTube, subscribe, and hit that bell. Always helps us in letting you all know when we put out videos. For YouTube, do that. For Twitter, go check us out. Peace and Chaos P1. That is Peace and Chaos P1. If you ever forget this, you can always go to our banner. The link is embedded into the Twitter and Instagram icon. So go check that out as well. Click on it and follow us. We always post reminders for when we go live, and also polls and things that are interactive for our viewers. Anything else before we leave Big Don? This was the premiere of our second season, everyone. So give us a round of applause, and thank you all for keeping us on the airways. We always are appreciative of that.
Absolutely. Thank you for everyone that stuck around to watch us live tonight. And thank you for everyone, whether you are on a beach in California or within a desert in, I guess, Tel Aviv. I don't even know where the fuck these places are. Well, wherever you're watching, thank you all for watching us. We're glad you made it to the end of here. Even if you go for segments and want to see our UFO stories or coverage of Israel, we appreciate your time, and we will be hopefully back soon.
Yes, we will be back. Keep it locked. We'll be having a 2024 candidates video that'll be coming out hopefully by the end of next week. Shout out to the YouTube guy there who did that already, but we are doing that as well. So we're going to be doing a tier list for the 2024 Republican candidates. So that'll be coming out in just a couple of days. Stay locked for that. Also some good GeoGuessr. Yeah, that's going to be coming up as well. And of course, next Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern time only on YouTube. That is going to do it for us. See ya.
Peace. That was a long stream.
Damn.